What is up, y'all? Welcome to the video. I've been taking some time to make some decisions in my life, and that is what today's video is about, making decisions. You saw the mug, life is short, so you have a very finite amount of time to get shit done, and that's what today's video is about. A decision matrix that I use to make super simple decisions so that they don't weigh on me and take energy away from my mental clarity, the ability to do other things that matter in my life, and then the same decision matrix that I use to make more complex decisions. And the first thing I'd like to say here is that these are for different levels of decisions, and decision making both takes a toll on us when decisions are left unmade and take a lot of energy to make, no matter how big or how small the decision. So this matrix is going to help you out. I decided today to do something I wanted to do for a long time, so we'll get to that here after the intro. All right, y'all, I'm gonna lay these out in 3 levels of decisions. Now, the first level of decisions are decisions that you can automate or reverse if you decide to do something else. So things like what clothes you're going to wear for the day and what brand of groceries you're going to buy, those things can be automated through simple systems. I've talked about that in other videos. Now, the other thing is even bigger decisions that might take up a lot of energy, like what hotel you're going to stay at or what Airbnb you're going to choose. Most of the time, these decisions are reversible, and so locking in a price and choosing something that fits your basic needs prior to a vacation or a business trip or whatever is something that you can easily reverse most times. Now, in the instance of an Airbnb or a car rental, if you simply choose the one that you know you can get your money back within 48 hours or something like that, it makes the decision really easy. You can reverse it. So here's a small decision that I made. I got my motorcycle license and I wanted to buy a bike, but it's kind of expensive and I know I can spend the money on better things. So instead, I rented this bad boy. Super pumped about it. I get to take it around Austin. It wasn't a big decision because it was reversible, I could cancel it, and it wasn't gonna cost me a whole lot of money. So I'll get to level 2 in just a minute. Let's talk about the second type of decision making. The second level of decision making is what's called risk benefit or risk reward. So a lot of people will write down a pros and cons list. The problem with a pros and cons list is it tends to be more about how you feel about the subject or decision. Now, if you look at the risk reward matrix, this is for harder decisions, maybe investing or purchasing something for your company or purchasing a vehicle or deciding where to move next. There's a whole bunch of different things where you can put that decision through this matrix. Now, all it is the difference between what you have to lose and what you have to gain. Now, let's just talk about investing in a company. You have $1,000 and you are deciding whether you're going to put it in a bank savings account, invest it in a company that may do pretty well, like Apple or Amazon, or invest in a friend's company that may just take off or may completely tank. Now, what you can look at is the risk of investing that $1,000. Now, the worst case scenario of that risk is losing $1,000, but the reward is what you can focus on next. What do you have to gain? Are you going to get a 2x or a 10x or a 100x or a 1,000x return on that money? Now, the last thing to consider when you're looking at risk reward is your reward going to at least cover the downside so that you only get to 0. Now, if you think that the reward is going to get you at least 2x, maybe 5x or 10x, then you can weigh the decision and probably decide that it's going to be a good decision. And if it's just something to try out, like say this motorcycle, there's really not a whole lot of reward, at least financially, but I get to do something I enjoy, I get to get practice on the bike without having to invest thousands of dollars into buying my own or taking out a new loan. So for me, emotionally, it puts me above 0. I'm not where I started. That is decision matrix number 2, your risk reward. I'm gonna spin around a little bit, try to get some footage. It's really hard to get footage while you're riding. I'll try to do the best I can do, but mostly just gonna enjoy it, have some fun. So if you guys are liking the content so far, please hit the subscribe button below. I've got tons of content coming. I'm super pumped. I love doing this. It's just a hobby of mine. And again, with the risk reward, I enjoy it and there's really no downside to it. So that being said, let's move to the matrix for level 3 decisions here in just a minute. All right, y'all, I am done riding for the day. I've decided to call it quits because it's like 110 degrees outside here in Austin, but it's a lot of fun. And that brings me to the 3rd level of decision making. And this is something that I picked up from Tim Ferriss, who picked it up from people at Conscious Leadership Academy. It's called the head, heart, and gut decision. And what that is simply feeling a yes on a decision in your head, heart, and gut. And what Tim Ferriss talks about is if you can't feel a yes, what it's like to feel a no. To think about a decision and think about how it makes you feel. Does it logistically make sense? Do you feel like morally and holistically it makes sense in your heart? And then what is your gut decision? And the best way to think about these decisions is, again, when you're looking at investing in a company or working at a company or just being friends with somebody, what does your gut say? What is your gut reaction? What is your intuition for these things? What does your heart say? Do you know that these people that you're going to work with, or this company, or whatever the decision is, maybe something you're doing for your family, does it sit right in your heart? And then again, logistically in your head, does it make sense? Do all of those 3 things cohesively make sense together? Now, the last thing to say about that is, back to the risk reward, if something doesn't quite feel right, it may still be a good decision. When you're looking at stepping out of your comfort zone and making new strides in life, it's not always going to make sense. Now, I just realized that my hat is super dirty, so let's change that real quick. There we go. So the last thing that I'll say is back to the risk reward. If something doesn't feel right in all 3 of those areas, head, heart, gut, it might still be the right decision to make. And the reason that is because sometimes you have to step out of your comfort zone. That doesn't mean go against something that you feel when you know it's wrong morally, when it just doesn't logistically make sense in terms of the risk reward. But sometimes you do have to say, okay, this doesn't all make sense, but I still think it's a good decision to make. All of these 3 levels of decisions will have different impacts on your life. But to go back through, any simple decision you can make and automate that might be reversible, make it and be done with it. Go through your risk reward matrix and then decide what is more rewarding when decisions are heavier, and then go through your head, heart, and gut. The very last point to add is that once you've made your decision, proceed with certainty. Don't look back, don't think about the what ifs, set your timeline, set your goals, and lean into the decision. Y'all, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. If you're interested, there is merch up on the website. We've got the Reaper, we've got top quality coffee and t-shirts. As always, keep battling, never rest. We'll see you in the next one.